Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. I'm going to do your November the 29th Spiritual Principle Day in a meditation. Excuse my voice today. It is in and out, and I am trying so hard to get through the readings. So just bear with me, okay? November 29th, flexibility through life's storms. The open-mindedness we practice in our recovery gives us the ability to be flexible when things change in ways we hadn't expected. That comes from the Living Clean book, chapter 6, Getting Out of Our Own Way. Trees are commonly associated with qualities like strength and resilience, qualities that can help us endure the difficulties of getting and staying clean. Living life on life's terms involves experiencing all sorts of weather patterns. Plenty of sunshine and warmth, followed by patches of cold and rain, storms, and snow. Some of us work so hard to hold everything in our lives together, only to find ourselves having a complete breakdown when someone takes our seat at the meeting. If we take a lesson from trees, we'll see that the more rigid and inflexible we are, the more easily we can be shattered. Palm trees might not strike us as especially strong. They are often associated with beaches and easy breezes. And do they even look all that sturdy compared to, say, an oak? However, those skinny, seemingly weak palms lay down firm root structures. And when a powerful storm comes, they are able to lean with the wind. The visible part of the tree above the surface is flexible and resilient, as strong roots secure it from beneath. Our lives will become tumultuous from time to time. We have disagreements with coworkers or partners. People in public annoy us. We find our usual seat at our home group occupied and have to sit somewhere else. We have become rigid and defiant, refusing to bend. Or we can move toward open-mindedness, willing to give a little here and there as needed, so we don't snap when the pressure is on. When our roots are firmly secured in recovery, we tend to find the flexibility we need. I cannot control the weather, but I can practice flexibility. I will plant myself firmly in the NA program, knowing that I can bounce back from any feelings that may come to pass. Let's go ahead and take a moment of silence, followed by the serenity prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. What a powerful meditation here, talking about flexibility through life's storms and comparing our flexibility or our inflexibility, our attitude or our lack of attitude, right? Of a good attitude, rather, to being a tree. And that the more inflexible, I want to say, right? The less flexible we are, the more likely we are to snap, right? The harder we are about what has to happen, the more dogmatic we are about what we expect, the more rigid we are. Inflexibility, right, causes us to snap in ways and in places that we may not be ready to deal with. If I walk into a meeting and I have been sitting for 10 years in the same seat, and a newcomer comes along and sits in that seat, everyone else that knows that I've been sitting in that seat all of these years is watching to see how I respond. They're not going to go up to the newcomer and say, you know what, you might not want to sit there. Come sit by me. They're not going to try and spare the newcomer because they know that it's not, they don't consider it spiritual to be that rigid. And so instead of giving the newcomer a heads up, I could see even myself just letting it ride. The person can figure out where else to sit. They've been sitting there for 10 years. What's the big deal? You become possessive about a chair. I could see if it was the closest chair to the bathroom and you needed to always excuse yourself because you have a weak bladder. I could see that, right? Or I could see trying to sit by the door somewhere, but if you need to leave and you know you need to leave early, but to be that rigid about a chair. And so you come in and because you're so rigid, they're like, that's my seat. Get up, that's my seat. Hmm? When was it ever okay to talk to people like that or act that way with people? Or maybe you don't ask them to move, but you go ahead and start, yeah, I was having a good day till I got here and saw somebody sitting in my seat and start sniper sharing it. It just, that's horrible, right? And you are fracturing off. You are snapping in ways that maybe you think is okay, but the rest of the world certainly doesn't. Okay? Or you can be like a palm tree that has laid its roots deep, deep, deep underneath the ground. And when a storm comes along, like someone sitting in your chair, or let's be more serious, the loss of a loved one, you're able to bend almost nearly to the ground and pop right back up because you are resilient. You have laid the proper roots of recovery where maybe people can't see them. They're underneath the ground. They're in you, right? And they run very deeply. And that in itself is carrying a message of recovery. Today, let's think about it in that fashion. We can't control the weather. We can't control what's going to happen outside of ourselves. A lot of times we can't even control ourselves. Who remembers Flo Jones? She was an amazing Olympian, right? She was an amazing Olympian, and her sister-in-law was too, right? Florence Joyner Griffin, right? Her sister-in-law was a Griffin, and they both ran marvelously. And her husband was an Olympian, right? And she died in the middle of the night. She had a seizure and died in the middle of the night. It shocked the world. I'm dating myself, sure. Right? It shocked the world. This healthy, vibrant female dies suddenly. What's the point? The point is that not only can we not control the people around us and what happens from day to day, but sometimes there's things that go on within ourselves that we have no clue about. And it can change, it can be a game changer. However, if we have deep roots, we will be able to function. We will be able to deal with life when it gives us whatever it gives us on its own terms. We will be able to be resilient. Isn't that what you want? That's what I want. I want to be like a palm tree. I love palm trees. I love them. If I could have one in my front yard, that would be amazing. I want for today to be a beautiful day for you. I want for you to have a beautiful day on purpose and think about being flexible with life's storms today. Talk to you tomorrow.